This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney is my co-host this hour here on The Ramsey Show. This is the show where we help you build wealth, do work that you love, and have high-quality, amazing relationships and mental wellness. We're here to help you with all of that. Join us. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. It is launch week for Dr. John Deloney's brand new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, a not-so-complicated approach to relationships and mental health. Absolutely incredible. Tomorrow is actual launch day. So if you order by midnight tonight, you get all the goodies, and that includes the audiobook and the ebook and a month of weekly therapy with the fine folks at BetterHelp. You got to order today by midnight tonight. The phone number is 888, or just go to RamseySolutions.com for the book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. John, how's it feel to be one day out?
I was feeling good, and
it's like having a baby. We're inducing labor tomorrow.
That's happening. And, driving down the highway and seeing my face on a billboard, I wasn't prepared for that.
It's weird.
That's so weird.
It's weird.
My daughter looked at me as though I grew 3 heads.
Like, Dad, what are you doing up there? That's embarrassing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I said, oh, honey, if that's embarrassing.
She'll be doing that. That's probably as long as you live. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. The first time I ever got a billboard, there was me and another guy that were doing a radio show. We just started this radio show in Nashville only. And they figured out at the billboard company that if you do an extension, meaning that like an arrow going out the side of the billboard or something sticking up outside the square, that it catches the eye more.
Yeah.
And so they figured out they needed an extension. So these geniuses decided that the extension was going to be my bald head sticking up. So there's this little half moon sticking up. So we drive over. We're all so thrilled we have a billboard. And I shouldn't tell this, but it's the truth. It happened. So we drive over there, Sharon and I. We're going to go get a picture. I got a picture of the billboard. It's classic. And so we drive over there to Hickory Hollow Mall, which is not there anymore now, and find the billboard there by the side of the interstate, and there's my head sticking up, half moon above it, and 3 birds sitting on it. We couldn't get a good picture because I got birds sitting on my bald head up there. It was awful. So just in case you thought you'd made it,
hey, I want a slick.
God will bring you a little humility.
I want a slick digital board, man. It looks good.
You're on a digital board with no birds. Yeah,
and it changes every 4 or 5 minutes.
That's not you.
So, it's not me. That's
right. Other things on there. Yeah.
That's right.
So we put those up around Nashville just to announce that we're very proud of this book.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
National best-selling author Dr. John Deloney, his brand new book, his first major trade book. And we are really, really excited about this. Let's talk about what it is, because it is launch week. And what do I get if I'm reading this book? What's your hope? What's your dream for the reader?
My hope is that most of us have just come to understand and believe that life is just, quote unquote, just going to be like this. I was just talking to somebody who I love and care about, and she was walking me through some challenges. Her and her husband's a best friend of mine. They're struggling with this and this, and they just like, well, I guess this is the way this is. And some of the wisdom they've received is, you just got to suck it up. You just got to cope. It's just going to be this way. And I just reject that, Dave. I think there's a different way to live. And if we understand why we've arrived at where we are and then have some steps to get out of this thing and start doing life differently, man, it affects our kids, our marriages, our job. It affects every part of our lives. And so my goal here is, again, I can't sit one-on-one with everybody, right? Not everybody's got my cell number. If I was to sit down with somebody, this is what I would tell you, like how to own the stuff that happened and how to make the next right step.
The horrible things that have been there, the good things that have been there in your past.
All of them.
Own them.
Yeah.
We tell stories is the framework of the book to ourselves. And then the trick is to, make the story real, because sometimes in our head we make what happened to us the thing.
Yeah, the stories own us.
Rather than a thing.
That's right. And here, Dave, I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but we've been given 2 paths forward in life. Either you're the worst thing that ever happened to you, you're the worst thing that
That's the
you've ever
definition
done.
of your life.
That's all you'll ever be is this.
I'm the guy who filed bankruptcy when I was 28.
That's all you'll be. And if that's you, then somebody's got to come save you. There has to be some government program to come drag you out of this because you're a loser. You're always going to be busted. That's it. And the other narrative we've been given is if you have a feeling, it's a sign of weak character. You're a fool. Suck it up. Move on. Just plow through life. And man, there's a wake of hurt and loss. And so I'm calling bullcrap on both of those. This is a new third way, man. How to own that stuff and then what to do on the back end.
Well, the major thing that happened to you is not you.
Right.
It's not your identity.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
That happened.
Yes.
And so horrible things have happened to people. People have gone through all kinds of tragedies, loss. I worked there 38 years and they fired me. Yeah. How long ago was that? 15 years ago. Well, you're still talking about it like it was 20 minutes ago, which means you're still living in it.
That's right.
And you've taken it as an identity rather than a thing that happened.
That's right.
And that's not sucking it up and saying there's not feelings. There is feelings. But living in this perpetual state of grieving the thing.
Right. Letting the thing grieve you, being a victim forever.
Yeah,
right?
it owns you. It defines you. It tells you, who you are. I got divorced when? 14 years ago. You're still talking about it?
Or he left me. He
Get
cheated
a
on me.
date. I mean, my God. It's like, wow, move on. Really.
But that's hard to do, right? It is
hard to move. I'm not saying suck it up, but I am saying...
No, there is some suck it up, too.
There is a part of that, but that's the own your past part. That is in my past.
Right.
The rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield. The windshield is my future. It's grace.
That's right. That's right.
It's bigger. It's a wide open whiteboard if I don't allow the past to... color the future to the point I can't do anything.
That's right. And if most of us would wrap our heads around what that could look like, we would be able to sleep a full night of sleep without medication. We'd be able to call somebody to come over when we're feeling low. We'd have a group of people that we do life with. We'd be able to laugh from our guts. These basic human things that have just been slowly plucked out of our lives over the last 10, 15, 25, 30 years.
Well, and, this idea that we can have relationships through a digital app is a false thing.
Yeah, we've been
and that's damaged our culture too.
Yeah, big time.
It's left us with this need for relationships, and we don't even realize we don't have them.
Yeah.
Well, I have 14 friends on Facebook. You don't have any real friends.
That's right. Yeah.
None of them will help you change a tire.
That's exactly right.
Not
right.
one.
Nope.
Not one.
They will thumbs down your post about Easter if it wasn't the right.
If you didn't quote it the way that they were raised. Yeah.
That's right.
You got the wrong version of Scripture. Right. Own Your Past, Change Your Future is the brand new book, A Not So Complicated Approach to Relationships, Mental Health, and Wellness. It is not a book for people struggling with extreme mental health issues.
No, go see your psychiatrist, psychologist.
Yeah, go see a therapist. This is a book for all of the rest of us.
That's right.
That have minor mental health issues.
Or if you love somebody that you're struggling with. Or if you work next to a guy. I'm just kidding. This is for all of us.
Careful.
This is for all of us.
Yeah. It's great. Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Brand new book. Will be another bestseller. We're sure of that. If you want the deal, you need to order it now at RamseySolutions.com before midnight and get the bargains. That was Hillbilly French.
Is that French?
Did you hear it? Hillbilly French. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. He's author of the brand new book that comes out tomorrow, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, a not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. David is in Canada. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello.
Hi. How can we help?
Well, we have a question about identity. First of all, both of you, thank you so much for certainly the content you create, and we're grateful for our plan. We started in February, March of 2019 with 113,000 Canadian dollars worth of debt. We're at $83,079 right now, so basically 8,400. You know, the finish line is imminent, and Tina and I kind of want to know, like, who are we after we achieve this goal? This has been a long haul. We don't really have a strong sense of where to go next.
Wow, that's incredible. So what got you started on this journey that long ago?
Family member's inappropriate gift. A family member gave another family member a copy of the Total Money Makeover. And Christina and I were, sort of victims of our own lifestyle creep. And we had purchased a fixer-upper, and 99% my idea. And it was a total dumpster fire. It was by far the least thought out renovation project in Ontario, Canada.
You just found yourself in a hole?
You better believe it.
All right, so you've worked together for 3 years now, crushing it and grinding it, and you're about $8,500 away from the finish line. What do you guys want to do next? Like, what do you want to do?
What do we want to do, Dina? Live life. We want to own a home at some point. In the sort of short term, like we're married 10 years in April of 2023, I was kind of thinking that like Disney World would be nice.
Okay, so if you just draw another short finish line here, you're going to just keep jumping from finish line to finish line. I want you to do something completely different. And you've probably heard me say this on my show a million times. The best analogy I've ever heard is they could never go sweep up all the glass and steel and dust from the Twin Towers and rebuild those Twin Towers with that dust and that same glass and that same steel. The buildings fell and it's over, right? So we have to excavate it. Sometimes you have to go get professionals to help you, but you excavate it and then you have to draw what's going to be in its place. What's going to come next? And it can be negative situations or it can be really positive things. The last kid just went to college and then now what? Now we get to excavate what was, and we get to completely redesign what comes next, using all of our experiences and talents that we've got, and then lean into what's this thing going to look like. Dave, you've been taking this question for 30 years. When people get to that finish line, okay, I'm debt-free, and they scream it, and then they go, okay, now I still got to live with you. What have you seen that is helpful in helping them rebuild, reimagine something new?
Yeah, I think you set another goal, but it's not a short-term goal. It's an identity goal. You mentioned the phrase identity, and John, you and I have talked offline about our friend James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And one of the things he talks about with Atomic Habits is you clearly say, I used to be a person that smoked, now I'm a non-smoker. Okay? Instead of I don't smoke anymore. Now you couch the language in identity. I used to be a person, David, that borrowed money. I don't borrow money anymore. And I'm a person that wants to build wealth and be incredibly generous. And I want to do all the things that wealth entails, which is A, enjoy it, and B, give it and enjoy even more the generosity of it. And that's my reasoning for continuing to build wealth. I have never suggested, nor have I personally done, a thing where I build wealth just for the purpose of a single vacation or for the purpose of being wealthy. I'm not trying to be wealthy. I'm trying to do the things that wealth does. And so that's an identity. I'm a wealthy person that enjoys money and incredible generosity. And that's my identity. And I decided that after I was a person that went bankrupt.
And so, David, if you think about identity as that new building, My wife and I, we sat down years ago and we were trying to figure out what our marriage was going to look like, what new work was going to look like. And we actually made, it's a small, we did it like with the kid, with our oldest son at the time, but we just made it was like a craft project basically, but it was, here's who the Deloneys are going to be. We're going to be people who fill in the blank. We're people who say yes. We're people who have others over. And those decisions shaped the house that we bought. It shapes how we save money. It shapes the jobs I did or didn't take, because it all leaned back to how do these actions back up and support this new identity, this new building that we're building. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sharon and I got, as a minute example of that too, is Sharon and I, it took us a little while to realize we are not people who enjoy passive vacations. We don't sit.
Right.
We go. So if we're going to Africa, we're going to go all over the place and see every freaking animal. You know, we're not going to sit and hope the animal wanders by. You know, I mean, we're out there hunting them with a camera, right? And so we're in action, and so we plan the vacations in that regard. Other people want to go and sit and put their feet in the sand and read a book and never move. I can do that at home personally, so I don't do that. But that's a nuanced thing. We decided, and both of us enjoy that type of travel. And so when we're booking travel, it's action-oriented travel.
But to reverse engineer it,
or event travel.
You started taking golf lessons, right?
Yeah.
And because I want to be out moving and doing things, so I'm going to learn how to do this thing. So it impacted your actions on a day-to-day basis for these things later on, right? Yep. And I'm a guy who I naturally, in the evening when I'm at home and someone says, hey, let's come back out, we're going to go grab something to eat, we're going to go watch the fights, my inclination is I'm just going to sit here. But I had said, I'm going to be a guy who says yes to things, who goes on adventures. Yeah. And so I drag myself out. I'm going to get in the car. So you're a guy that used to be in debt, David. Now you're a guy that is getting out of debt. Yeah. And now you're a guy that the next step is you're a guy that doesn't borrow money. Yep.
I used to, but I don't borrow money anymore. I used to smoke, but I don't smoke anymore. I didn't. But I mean, that's what Clear talks about, changing the language that states the identity, and that's not positive thinking, it's observation. I am no longer that person.
That's right.
I am now this person.
I think the positive thinking movement
and that kind of goes with your book.
That's exactly right. In fact, I talk about that in one of the chapters.
Yeah, own your past, change your future. It's in there,
is creating this identity moving forward. And so, David, I see this as a moment, like one of the few moments in your adult life, and you'll do this, 4, 5, 6 times, when you get to plan and shape what this thing looks like. And it's going to be loosely held, of course, but what a cool exercise to go spend a half-day retreat with your wife and say, okay, we're not running for our lives anymore. Yeah. What do we want this thing to look like?
Yeah. Now I'm a person that doesn't eat 63 donuts.
Yeah.
I was unbelievably fat during COVID, but I'm not anymore. And I'm not going to self-identify as a person who eats every donut in a 50-mile radius. I have done it in the past, but I cannot do that because I get as big as this room. I look like the Marshmallow Man.
And for Lent, I gave up sugar this year, which was
a bad idea.
You know that. That was hard.
It was a bad idea.
Instead of saying, I'm not,
yeah, exactly.
I said, I'm a guy who doesn't eat sugar.
Right.
And I just didn't, Dave. And I wish I could tell you why or how. It was a light switch for me. Yep. I just don't.
There's something about the language change that, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
That's it, man.
So it's biblical. But this idea that you reset your mind and you go, I used to be a person that did that, but now I'm this person. Now I'm a person that doesn't borrow money, and I'm pursuing wealth for the purpose of enjoyment and generosity. And changing my family tree.
That's so great. What an identity, man.
Yeah, and so you just give yourself a different way of looking at things, and you can do that at 84 years old, or you can do it at 24 years old. It's not an age thing; it's a decision thing.
Congratulations,
That's a really
David, man.
good question. Way to go, David. By the way, way to go. This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Allie is with us. Hey, Allie, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Where do you live?
In Minnesota.
Cool. What part?
Kind of like west central Minnesota. It's a little town called Bluffton. It's like 200 people.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
And all the way to Tennessee to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
I paid off $59,078.38.
Cool. How long did this take you?
13 months and 3 days.
Whoa! Look at you. And your range of income during that year?
Well, so I started at 58,000 gross, and then when I was done, I was making about 99,000, and then now I make about 120.
Whoa! What do you do for a living? Wow!
I'm a labor and delivery nurse.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, you get the award for most sparkly debt-free scream.
Thank you.
What is the deal with the sparkly?
Please tell me that's your lab coat.
I wish. That would be awesome if I could wear this to work.
If you could deliver a baby in that, that'd be awesome.
I know.
The people, the woman
Would
think
that
she's
be-
hallucinating.
Yeah, disco.
That's it. Yeah.
Exciting. No, I just really like glitter.
Okay.
So yeah, I saw it walking past a store one.
I thought maybe
day.
you came to Nashville and it got out of control. I didn't know.
No, this is my normal.
Okay.
She got on a pedal tavern, Dave, and then all of a sudden
That's
they're
it. Yeah.
handing out
Yeah.
sequins.
What happens when you get on a pedal tavern in Nashville? Yeah. No, it's cool. I love it.
Thanks.
That's very
Thank
nice.
you.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Appropriate.
So what happened 13 months ago that put you on this journey, this debt-free journey? Tell us your story.
Yeah, well, actually, it starts more like high school. My parents went through some pretty rough financial times, and then they took Financial Peace University, and we're kind of Dave-ish, but they always talk to me about, like, don't get any credit cards, and
So you're a financial peace baby-ish.
Yes,
Okay.
I know. I was like, I think ish probably, but yeah. So I was always like, you know, I tracked my spending. I didn't necessarily have a budget that I stuck to, but I was really hardcore about it my junior year of college, like the summer between my sophomore and junior year, because I was saving up to go to Costa Rica because I studied abroad there for 4 months. And I got really burnt out. Like, I just was like, I don't ever want to do this again. It was terrible because I was working every single day. And so then fast forward, I met David, my fiance, and he was like, he was debt free, and he's like, oh, but it's so awesome, you know, think about when we get married, we could go and be debt free, and, you know, yeah, just change our family tree. And I'm like, I did that once before, and I don't really want to do that again because it was horrible. But then one day I just remember thinking about all the things that I could do if I didn't have this debt hanging over my head.
What kind of debt was it?
I had student loans from 2 bachelor's degrees and then a car loan.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, I remember I was standing too, October 13th, 2020. I was in my kitchen and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I make so much money and I have the potential to make more money too. I'm a nurse, you know? And so I just decided right then and there that I was like, I'm going to do this. And yeah, I told David, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing the Dave Ramsey debt snowball, you know? So I just decided and just went from there. So
looked up the materials again and
yeah, I've actually
dialed it in, or what?
Yeah, I've read, that junior year, like I talked about that summer, I listened to Financial Peace University on CD, driving to and from. Driving to and from work. And then I read Entre Leadership, I read Total Money Makeover, I read Financial Peace University, like the book form too. And then I think I started watching on YouTube. Now I just binge watch it all the time. So that's what I did while I was paying off.
$59,000 in a year is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I went hard.
How did you almost tripled your salary?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
COVID actually was a little bit of a blessing for me because I was needed at work, and they started doing bonuses when I, like, sometimes when you picked up, it was like already extra incentive and you would work more and then you get more incentive. And then I started I was killing myself. Yeah. Like there was times when I was just like so exhausted, and I got COVID in July because I was just working all the time, and my immune system was like, we don't like this is not a good deal. But I started travel nursing, actually.
There's that.
Yeah, so that helped me.
Money.
Yeah,
big money.
Bigger shovel for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'd always wanted to do it, but it just happened to be like a really good time. And that thought again kind of popped in my head. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do it now.
So your parents are hovering around in your memory. David's kind of pushing this forward from the fiance perspective. And you looked down and went, okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah. I'm kind of one of those people, like it has to be my idea to do it. But yeah.
Wise man.
Your fiance's nodding, yes.
Yeah.
I can just see her walking out in her front yard being like, I declare Dave. Her neighbors think she's lost it. But
yeah, exactly.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Proud of you. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
There's a couple that I have in the back of my head. I think that having a vision for how you want your life to be, I think that's huge. It's, the debt snowball is only one baby step. It's baby step number 2. There's how many other baby steps, and so you have to think big picture, like where I want my life to be. And then you have to make that committed decision to stick with the plan and just go for it. Day after day, you commit and you recommit. Give yourself grace when you mess up because it's going to happen. And maybe you take $5 out of your fund money and just go buy yourself a coffee, sit yourself down, be like, I can do this. Okay, we can do this, and then keep going.
Sounds like that happened.
Yeah, there were times when I was just like so tired and didn't want to go to work, and I was just like, I get gung ho about picking up a shift or something, and then a week later have to work it, and they actually need me, and I'm like, oh man, I really just don't want to go.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we talk a lot about like I just sucked it up and grinded it out, and I got a third job, and then all of a sudden a year later it was over. There are a lot of those mornings that you're like, I signed up for what?
I know.
Like I just worked all day yesterday, and you're like,
my eyes are crossing.
You put your name on the schedule, and I gotta have a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna go right back into it.
There was a lot of nights when, nights, days, I don't even know. I worked anything and everything that was open. I picked up shifts like, I work OB, like babies and pregnant people are my thing. Like I was doing some ICU shifts and med surg shifts, and I'm like, I don't like taking care of adults that don't have a baby in them. So, I was like, I'm gonna do this. So, yeah. But yes, it is a grind, and you just gotta like drink your coffee and probably some water too, because you might be a little low on that, and just keep going. And it also helps to have a supportive person in your life.
So David's cheering you on.
Oh my gosh, every time they text me and be like, hey, like we need help, and he and I were just even gonna hang out at home. He was like, yeah babe, go get it, go make that money. So he was very supportive. And but yeah, I think that it's understanding that it's
and
only
the other thing
a
is
season.
It's just for a season.
Exactly.
It's 13 whole months out of your entire life.
Yeah. And I mean, I changed my family tree.
Now
I don't
you work
own a
whenever
house.
you want.
Wherever
only when you want.
Yeah.
You don't have any payments.
No.
You work
none.
like no one else. Later, you can work like no one else. It's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, and you can give like no one else too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, now it's still smaller scale than I want it to be, but I have all these dreams of creating scholarships for people and helping people get through their education, and just I love animals, so I want to help that too. It's
Amen.
so.
Well, congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
So have y'all set a date?
Yes, August 13th.
Here we go.
Yes.
All right, game on. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter for you and David after August 13th. That's pretty cool. Another copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give it away and be part of someone else's story, stirring up a ruckus. So good stuff. John and I, the whole Ramsey team, we're proud of you. Very well done.
Thank you.
Allie from Minnesota, $59,000 in 13 months, making 58 all the way to 120. Kicking it. Count it down. Let's hear a glittery, debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
Yeah! Woo! That's how they do it in Minnesota. I'm just saying. This is the Ramsey Show. Crazy how time flies. The pre-order of Dr. John Deloney's new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, is ending today. Here's why you would pre-order today. You only buy the book for $20, but you get the audiobook and the ebook for free, and you get free weekly therapy sessions from BetterHelp for 1 month. You don't want to miss out on this. It's a great, great bargain. This book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, the not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. Absolutely incredible. Hey, John's going on the road, going to do a couple of book signings. This Thursday, he'll be in Phoenix, April the 21st at 6 p.m. at the Barnes & Noble at Desert Ridge Marketplace on Tatum Boulevard. And then next week, a week from Wednesday, in Dallas, Texas, at the Barnes & Noble in Prestonwood Town Center on Beltline Road. Wednesday, April the 27th at 6 p.m. If you're in Dallas or Phoenix, mark those down. You can find the dates and locations and everything on our website as well. And be sure you come in. If you ever wanted Dr. John Deloney sit down with you face to face and walk you through what's happened with you, maybe you're healing from a traumatic experience, maybe you have had things in your past, maybe you're just dealing with anxiety from COVID, whatever it is you're dealing with, everyone has dealt with something or is dealing with something right now. This is his method of sitting down with you because he logistically can't be everywhere at once, and it's through this book. It will change your life. The people inside this building that have read the book, the advanced readers that have read the book, are all going crazy about it because it just grabs you and it gives you a framework for dealing with and thinking about the past, owning your past so you can change your future. Alyssa is with us. Alyssa is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hi, Alyssa. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So the reason I'm calling is because last week I had a miscarriage.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. And the question I had was, my husband and I are in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. So when we found out we were pregnant, we kind of paused on the extra chunks we normally throw at our mortgage, and we put it in a separate account to just kind of keep it there as we go through pregnancy. And now that I'm no longer pregnant, I looked over at that and I thought, oh, I should throw that at the mortgage.
No.
But then there was also a part of me that was like, I want to do something with it. I want to go somewhere. And I guess my question is, what's the difference between, being in a place that we can take the time away and do something for ourselves versus grief spending or being irresponsible in some way?
It fits the framework of what we teach, so I'm not going to call it irresponsible.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what we teach is you're not in. If you were in baby step 2, I'd have to kind of cock my head and cry with you a minute and think about with this pain what we're going to do. But you're past baby step 3, and that's where you do things. That's where you buy a couch. That's where you go on a trip. That's where you upgrade the car with cash that you have. In your case, you were using it, had it labeled for one thing. You want to change the label of it to trip to get away. And so it's not financially irresponsible. The question is, then do you want to, you want to make sure you're doing this from a healthy perspective in terms of processing the grief.
Yeah. So
Right.
here's what I would tell you, Alyssa, that would be important. This trip is important, and I think you for sure should take a trip. I would put a little bit of money aside to give away. There's something about giving that is healing in these moments. And this is going to be hard. I'm going to say this really abruptly because we just have a short time together. If you and I were sitting down talking one-on-one, I would probably be a little more eloquent in my speech, okay? This trip in and of itself won't heal your hurt. What this trip can do is provide a little bit of space for you and your husband to sit down and just be sad together, because y'all had plans, right? And you've had a loss. And so the trip in and of itself won't be the gift. The trip will provide space for y'all to then begin healing. I strongly, I've been down this road multiple times in my own home, strongly recommend some sort of, even if it's just you two, some sort of funeral, some sort of remembrance, some sort of marker for this moment. And it'll be a touchstone for you and your husband as y'all both move into the future, right, into what comes next. But yeah, I say go on the trip. Leave a little money for giving, though. That's important.
Yeah, have some spa days, and there's nothing as, but I'm with John. You know this, but we're just saying out loud kind of what you were thinking, okay? The trip is good, do the trip, but there's no place on earth beautiful enough or peaceful enough to make you not hurt. You're hurting.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Thank
just
you
be
so
okay
much. I
with
really
that.
appreciate it.
Yeah, be okay with that. In other words, the trip is not an elixir that allows you to sidestep the grief and the hurt and the pain.
And Alyssa, let me tell you this.
This hurts.
I miss this big time in my own home, and so I'll carry that for the rest of my life. There is an entire ecosystem that is designed to tell you, well, this isn't that big of a, well, it should have been, and people are going to give you their terrible advice and their stuff that you can sew on a pillow and all that kind of stuff. You need to spend some time with people who will just sit with you and aren't going to throw advice at you, aren't going to give you a bunch of labels, aren't going to give you a bunch of nonsense. And you need to know that your hurt right now and your pain and your loss is valid and it's real and it's holy. And as your friend, I'm so sorry that this happened to you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Take the trip, but don't turn the trip into something it's not. Don't give it that kind of power.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just and we want to give you permission to hurt. We're hurting with you.
Ugh.
And
Thank
just
you.
But y'all just sit, somewhere on the beach or wherever you're going and cry a little bit. That'll be okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You bet.
God bless you, darling. Sorry you're going through this.
Hey, and I appreciate you saying that, Dave, because there's when she asked that question, I thought, I've been here for a few years and I've never heard that question asked. And I
Well, she's a baby step 4.
I love that your default was,
Again,
of
if
course.
she's on 2, I gotta think about.
Well, y'all still running for your lives.
Yeah, you got 2 different things coming at you now.
That's right.
You got this overwhelming debt you're trying to get out of with physical intensity, and how are we going to get? But the purpose of the trip here, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but in my mind, it's give yourself some space to grieve, and you can create space to grieve without spending a lot of money if you were in baby step 2.
Absolutely, you can. It's just, there's something powerful about the change of environment.
But in this case, she's got the money to create some luxurious space to grieve, and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay to spend it on that.
One of the things when we're writing this book, we're talking about our culture that we have about loss and people that we love passing, and it hit me while I remember where I was when I was typing these out. If you are in debt, if you're running for your life and you owe 6 figures of student loans and you work hourly, you have to do a cost benefit analysis on how much can I even attend this funeral? And I thought, how much more important is living a life without debt, because it gives you space to actually live your life. And I think I've always thought of living your life as going on vacation, as doing the thing, paying for college. But what if I just need a week to process when my mom passes away? What if I need to buy a plane ticket tonight to go be with my uncle before he passes away? These are all things that I didn't consider when I was 6 figures in student loan debt, right? And it just provides you a space and some margin just to breathe when life comes at you.
Money is not important at all. What money does is unbelievably important.
Yeah.
Feed your children, Gives you a plane ticket to go see your uncle.
Yeah.
Gives you a little space, in her case, to have a luxurious, which is fine, time of margin.
Yeah.
It gives you that. It gives you it turns a crisis into an inconvenience. Now, not in her situation. It's not I'm not saying a miscarriage is an inconvenience.
No, I'll tell you this. I've sat with people in the middle of the night that say, I don't know how to pay for a coffin.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's next here.
But it turns no matter what the drama is, being broke adds layers to the drama.
Big time. That's right.
And we all run into drama.
It's hurt on top of hurt on top of hurt. Yeah.
You know, I drove my 4-wheeler in a ditch this weekend, broke the front axle off the thing. So, is that a problem? No, I'll just get another one.
Yeah.
I didn't bump my head too hard, you know. But you know, if in the old days, my buddy and I were laughing about it. And we're like, in the old days, this would have been the next 2 weeks of our life dealing with this stupid thing.
That's right.
Now I just left it there and said, get somebody to come get it and fix it. Good Lord. You know, so it just adds drama to the drama. Dr. John Deloney's new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Get it on pre-order while you can. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of The Fine Print, a Ramsey Network production of a podcast that is absolutely blowing it out of the water in popularity. Be sure you check it out. He's my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here. This is a show about your relationships. It's a show about building wealth. It's a show about getting work that you love, making more money than you've ever made in your life. We're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. 888-825-5225. Jason is with us in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Jason. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you so much for taking my call, Dave.
Sure, man. What's up?
Hey, me and my wife are looking for some guidance. We're both 26 years old. We've been married for a year, renting in an apartment for a year as well. Our lease is up at the end of May, and the cost of living is going to make our rent go up by at least $350 a month. Since we were going to be paying that much for rent, we looked into Churchill Mortgage to start looking for the process of buying a home. Since we have no debt, we have never had a credit card. We don't have a zero credit score, but we have a no credit score at all. So they said it was going to make our rate go up quite a bit for a pre-approval. It's going to be about 6.8% is what they gave us, which seems pretty high even for the market right now.
You got a hold of some bad information, and I'm going to have to get you offline and get you back with Churchill because whoever you got a hold of, there's an idiot.
Okay.
George, you didn't pay a dime more. You got a no credit score mortgage from Churchill Mortgage, and you were not charged a premium on the interest rate.
I asked about this on the Fine Print podcast. We interviewed one of their specialists over at Churchill on the Fine Print podcast on credit scores, and he explained to me that they basically rate you at a good credit score. If you do manual underwriting and everything checks out, they're rating. I said, how does this compare to someone who has a credit score? And they said, we look at it and we say, this is rated as good. So it's not the highest credit score. If you had an 800, you might get a slightly better rate.
6.8%
no, that's
is not
insane.
In this market, in this 3% world, it's not even close
back
to
in
true.
2019,
something else
it was
is wrong,
3.6.
or you got a hold of a bad rep, one of the two. So have you got, you have no credit at all of any kind, no bad credit showing up?
No, sir, not at all.
How long have you been on your job?
4 years.
And how long have you paid rent?
For just 1 year.
Okay. None of that warrants a 6.8% rate. So
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what we were.
Yeah, we'll just have to
wondering,
help you
'cause
with
it
that.
seemed a little bit
Apparently, you got like a newbie or something that doesn't know what the flip they're doing. But
You may have just typed it into the computer and spit out a number.
yeah, Kelly will get you in touch with the owners of Churchill, and we'll get this fixed for you because it's just not right.
Great, thank you so much.
It's not how it works. Manual underwriting is not a double interest rate. It should be a as good an interest rate as a person can get with a typical credit score is what you were told. And that's what you personally got.
Yeah, and if you had an excellent credit score, you might get a slightly lower rate.
Like an eighth or a quarter.
Exactly, but we're not talking 2%. My rate was probably right there, if not maybe a 0.1% difference than someone who had a great credit score. So
well, exactly.
And the goal here is you pay it off as fast as possible. And if the 0.1 or 0.2% interest rate jump is going to make you not able to afford the house, you may just not be ready to buy a house.
Yeah, but
these numbers are crazy.
6.8 is not right.
No.
That's just wrong. So you hold on. Kelly will pick up, and we'll get you in touch with our internal team at Ramsey Trusted, and they'll walk you through the Churchill Mortgage process. And sorry you got some bad info there, but that's very fixable, very, very doable. John is with us. John is in Boston. Hey, John, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. I am calling in because I have about $13,842 worth of car payment loans.
Mm-hmm.
I only have one car, and I drive about an hour and a half every day to work.
Why?
And with the price of gas, I'm a jeweler, and there's no real jeweler positions in my area.
Move.
So, yeah, I've been thinking about I found you guys about a week and a half ago. I'm deciding whether I should find something new closer to home or selling my car and driving a beater. I'm just trying to get advice on what to do.
So what's the purpose of selling the car?
I probably buy something cheaper that I wouldn't have to, owe any debt on. I
like that part. I'm just wondering the connection between you getting a job and this car being sold.
I don't want to drive a beater an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. More money and just more time, I guess. Because I'm spending about $800 a month on gas, and the car payment is like $300, so it's over $1,000 just to get to work. So I'm basically not making much money.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like you got three things you need to rethink: where you live, what you drive, and what you do for a living. And rethinking all three of those should completely change your whole life.
Yes. Okay.
Now, I get rid of the car payment. I mean, $13,000. I mean, what are you making a year? What do you make a year?
It's about 32 grand.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay. All right. And what are you going to be doing when you're 33 that makes $100,000?
I honestly have no idea, Dave.
Okay. All right. So I don't mind you making 30. I don't mind you making 32 because I've made 32, but I want to be going somewhere from there. I don't want to be staying there.
Yeah.
So let's have a game plan on your career side. So what I'll do is I'll send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, to start making your decisions on your career. From a quality of life standpoint, I get to decide what I'm going to spend two things on that are very valuable to me: my time and my money. And commutes are destroy both of those. And so you really have to decide from a where do you want to end up 40 years from today? A 2-hour commute is going to destroy your money and destroy your time. Just 4 hours a day. And these are two things that are too valuable that you can't get back the time. You can get back the money, but I'm moving or I'm changing jobs, and I'm going to continue to do something to change jobs anyway, to move from 32 on up and out of that.
Yeah, you're going to have to uproot your life, man. New car, new job, new life, new everything. But, man, that commute, it's wearing you out and wearing your car out. Both are not good.
Yeah, it's I don't know that you have to quit any of it today, but 6 months from now, I probably would have a new car a new job, and a new place to live. Or at least two of those three.
That'd be a win.
At least two of those three to start to get my life back. Thank you, man. We appreciate you being a listener. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Well, George, Rachel Cruz, and I, John Deloney, Ken Coleman, and I are really excited. Ramsey Solutions is hitting the road. We're pumped to take our Building Wealth live event on tour this year. Look out, Las Vegas and Orlando. We're coming to you in just a couple of weeks. And then this fall, Sacramento, Minneapolis, San Antonio, and another city yet to be announced. Las Vegas is May the 5th. That's only a couple of weeks away. And you can still get tickets if you want them. They're almost sold out. Orlando getting very close to being sold out May 19th. And we just put Sacramento, Minneapolis, and San Antonio on sale. And we've already sold over 1,000 tickets to each one of those. Thank you so much. Tickets are only $25. One of the reasons they're selling so fast. And a 4-pack is $60. So bring a couple friends with you. It's only less than the cost of a pizza. Come on out. We're going to spend an evening together. We'll sign books, answer questions. We're going to do an event about building wealth. Again, Vegas is May 5, Orlando's May 19, Sacramento November 1, Minneapolis November 10, San Antonio November 15. RamseySolutions.com/events. George, I'm ready to be back on the road, brother.
Oh, and these are some great cities. I'm just thinking about all the crowds we've seen in these kinds of cities, and at that price point, I mean, it's inflation-proof.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that has not suffered from inflation is tickets to Building Wealth.
You know what? It's true. We didn't double them, did we?
No.
We should think
You're
about
welcome, America.
Well, we got to pay the gas bill if we're going to drive over there.
That's true.
So how are we going to do that if we don't get more money?
I haven't thought about this. I thought you were the guy to figure all this out. Well,
I never thought about raising the prices.
Just call it generosity.
Okay, we'll call it that. That's part of building wealth.
It's going to be a great time.
Our question of the day is from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they're going to remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, new promos all the time. Incredible company for window coverings and blinds for your home. Blinds.com. Always use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Kevin in Utah. I start a new job next week, and instead of a 401k match, they contribute 12 to 15% of my base salary each year. Should I still put 15% in the company's Roth 401k, or should I just put the 15% in my Roth IRA? They contribute regardless of whether I use the 401k or not. Interesting.
What are they contributing to?
Contribute of my base salary each year.
He says,
I'm guessing he means to the 401k?
Whether he puts money in the 401k. I guess they're putting it in the 401k regardless of whether he puts it in.
Oh, it's coming out of his paycheck, it sounds like.
No. They are contributing, but I'm just saying they contribute regardless of whether I use the 401k or not. I assume, he has to be in the 401k.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Okay. Well,
yes, you need to put 15% of your money. You put 15% of your money in, regardless of what your company does, although this is an absolute fabulous benefit.
I know. I'm just shocked at this. They're just giving them 15% for nothing there. Well, as far as your options go, he said, should I put in the 401k or the IRA? You're talking about Roth in either case. And so I like the 401k option. It's simple. Your money's already going there. If you want to do the Roth IRA, there are some different benefits to that. You may have more investment options. So that's a good place to do it. Now, the Roth IRA, you're going to max out pretty quickly there. So you're probably going to have to go back to the Roth 401k anyways.
Should I still put 15% in the company's Roth 401k, or should I put the 15% in my Roth IRA? It doesn't matter which one, because neither one have a match. You're getting the money, the contribution, regardless of the match. I would just go where you think you've got the best options. If your 401k has good, solid options across the 4 types of mutual funds we're talking about, I would just do your 401k for convenience. But if you put 15% of your income into a Roth IRA and that's not maxed out, because if you have a higher income, it would max out. Again, you pick those 4 types of mutual funds: growth, growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. Good question. Sarah is with us in Los Angeles. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you so much, Dave. We love you and your team. So thank you for all the advice that you're giving. We love that you're inspiring the youth, especially to live responsibly.
Well, thank you. How can we help today?
Well, I have 2 questions. We have real estate investments that we've had for a long time. We have 5 homes in the Sunbelt area, Arizona and Florida, worth probably a total of $1.2 million combined. And we're getting about $10,000 to $15,000 a year free and clear from that. So it's not a really great investment from a cash flow standpoint. And we've been looking into DSTs and wanted to see what you thought of them.
No, man, you have $1 million worth of real estate that's creating $10,000 worth of cash flow?
Yeah.
You have mortgages?
No. So that's where
what is wrong with the real estate? Or are you guys just the worst landlords on the planet?
They're all financially or professionally managed. So
no, they're not. You would have sold them.
Are you charging like $300 for rent? How is this possible?
Well, actually, last year was more like $20,000, so it is getting better.
But still, $20,000 over 5 homes.
Yeah, you should be getting
that's $4,000 per home a year.
Month.
Yeah. So what would happen is we'll get something where someone moves out and we have like $8,000 in repairs. One of them needs a $12,000 roof. So something like that will just sink us for the year.
But not on all 5.
No, not on all 5.
You're saying $20,000 a piece or $20,000 total on $1 million worth of real estate?
$20,000 total.
Okay, these properties are not renting well. I mean, I own a lot of real estate, okay, and I'm making an 8 to 10% cash on cash after repairs and after tenant turnover on residential single families.
That's what these are, residential single families.
10% on $1.2 million would be $120,000 a year. 8% would be $100,000 a year. So you're way off here. Something's wrong. Are these properties not desirable? Are they bad? Why are they bad rental properties? Are they super expensive property, or are they cheap, or
well, the one in Arizona is worth over $300. The ones in Florida are worth around $250 each. So
what's wrong with them?
$250,000 each. One needs a roof. That's why we're looking into DSTs, because we thought maybe we could get better cash flow.
Well, you could get better cash flow if you manage the real estate well, or you had better cash flow than you'll ever get on an EFT. Real estate will outperform mutual funds and EFTs. It has a higher hassle factor if it is run well. Yeah. This real estate is not being run well. I think you've got some property managers milking you.
I'd pay attention to these numbers and really dig into this and figure out where all this money is going.
I'm telling you, I take $1 million worth of single families and put them up beside you, and I'm making $100,000, $120,000 on it. Cash flow.
Okay.
Cash on cash.
Okay.
And rent. And by the way, rents have gone up.
Rents have gone up, so that's why we're making more. Like the one in Arizona now, we get $1,700 a month. But in Florida, they're still relatively low, and the taxes are really high. And insurance is high, too, in Florida. So we bought most of them for about $100,000, and so they've appreciated a lot. So our total outlay is not $1 million. It's more like...
Yeah, I know it's not your outlay, but it's return on value is what it amounts to. And a general rule of thumb is you should see a gross rent before expenses, not net, but before expenses of around 1% a month. So a $300,000 house ought to be $3,000 a month rent, give or take. Okay, and then that's going to net you. That's a 12% gross, and then that's going to net you 8 to 10, depending on your level of repairs and so forth. And I think you're not getting good value out of your property manager, or these properties are very poorly located. If you want to sell them and get into an EFT, you can beat what you're doing with an EFT. But as a category, single families managed well will outperform an EFT if they're done right. And these are not being done right. There's something wrong with this portfolio. Thanks for the call.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Glenn and Wendy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, doing great.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
We live in Morris, Alabama.
Which is near?
A little north of Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Cool. How much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $100,000.
All right. How long did this take you?
22 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
130 to 138.
130, 138. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a wastewater treatment plant operator.
And I'm an occupational therapist for the local school system.
Excellent. Very cool. What kind of debt was the $100,000?
$3,500 was a 401k loan that I'd taken out, and then the rest of it was the remainder of our mortgage.
You paid off your house?
Yep.
Look at it, weird people.
Yeah.
I love it. What's this house worth?
Well, my wife was going to be so mad if you didn't call us weird today.
You're weird.
Yeah.
You are officially weird.
Yeah.
Don't be mad.
Yeah.
What's the house worth?
According to Zillow, we're pushing $300,000.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. Good job, you guys. Yeah. Good job. How long y'all been married?
26 years.
Oh, cool. How old are you?
I'm 47.
And I'm 48.
All right. Good. And a paid-for house?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's record-breaking, man. That's very, very cool.
Very excited.
Very cool. Congratulations. So what put you on this journey 22 months ago? Tell us about your story.
I started listening to you back in the 90s, I guess. I've known about Dave Ramsey forever and loved the show. And we were ish our whole life, I guess, our whole married life anyway. But 22 months ago, I changed jobs and we had to do something about that 401k loan that I'd taken out. And we knocked it out very quickly. And we got to think, well, if we could do this, we could just take that mortgage out very quickly. And our goal was to do it by the time Wendy turned 50. But we were able to knock it out even a little quicker.
Wow.
And in 2018, I have two of my coworkers, Jennifer Nick and Ashley Dees, who are my debt-free cheerleaders. We walk after school every Wednesday, our walk-in Wednesdays, and one of the things we talk about is our financial goals, our financial dreams, and so I'm the first of the three to get to come do this.
Wow.
And they're on their way.
All right. Look forward to all of them. I love it. All debt-free houses and everything. Excellent job, guys. Very, very, very well done.
This is awesome. You get some people around you, and you feel a little bit of that progress. You get a taste, and you go, okay, we paid off 3. Let's pay off 97. Let's go.
Yeah.
Was that scary when you were just looking at that number going, how are we going to do this?
Yes, it was. So we started our debt-free journey January of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. And from January to May, we were making some progress, but it wasn't until we started doing the every dollar budget that we really started to see that progress come to fruition. And at the end of every month, no matter how many dollars or cents were left at the end of each category, we added all that up and threw it at the mortgage. We called it our fun math at the end of each month.
Yeah.
I love it. Well done, guys. Great job. Man, that's a $300,000 paid for house. So how much do you guys have in your investments in your retirement?
We're a little over 200.
Okay.
In that area.
All right, up to $500,000 then.
Yes, sir.
Net worth. Excellent. You're going to be millionaires before you know it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Good job, you guys. Very cool. All right, so every dollar is part of the key. What other keys do you tell people it is to having your house paid off?
I just think the fact that we were just on the same page the whole time was tremendous in getting it knocked out. We hardly ever, there was no argument. It's like we knew what we needed to do and we got the job done.
Was there fights at all, or just with money? I'm just curious.
There weren't.
No.
And that's one thing that I wanted to be sure and say is how God united us so completely during this journey. Last night we were talking about that very question, and neither one of us could think of a single time that I wanted to do something that wasn't in the budget or he wanted to do something that wasn't in the budget. And I just feel like God honors financial responsibility, and he has been with us through the whole journey.
Wow. 22 months of focus, and boom, you're done.
Yeah.
And you're not even 50 years old.
Right.
Just like that. Wow. So how's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
It's wonderful. I was telling Wendy that this is the most carefree I've been since I was a kid. It's amazing the feeling you have just with the peace and the freedom of being debt-free.
Wow. What was it momentous with the last payment? How'd you guys do it?
So it was October 29th, this past October, and we went to a little restaurant out in Bessemer, the Bright Star restaurant, had our picture made in front of it, and it was just such a happy day. And the other thing to mention, too, is our son is a college student at UAB, and we were cash flowing
his college
at the same time.
Wow.
We had some car repairs. We've got all old cars now, so that's our next thing is to...
Yeah, we're going to step into our real Dave car next time.
Get you a good car. Yeah, I like it. That's fun. Well, congratulations, you guys. Absolutely amazing. Very, very, very well done. Okay. Doesn't sound like this was super hard once the two of you decided you just went after it.
It really wasn't. And one of our biggest things that we struggle with is eating out.
Oh, yeah, that was
out
hard.
to eat. And so what we did in our budget is we allowed ourselves one out to eat a week on grocery night. And it was usually fast food.
Yeah, and that would fill us up before we went and bought groceries, so it kept the grocery bill down.
Don't go in there hungry.
Yeah,
Dangerous.
exactly.
Well, you're in baby steps 4, 5, 6 at that point. That's perfectly allowed. Now, if you're in baby step 2, I'll fuss at you for going out to eat. But you guys are just working that baby step 6 to get rid of that mortgage, and you knocked it out. Way to go.
Thank you.
Very proud of you guys. You're heroes, man. Yeah, man, you did it. You're just weird. Excellent job. All right, Glenn and Wendy, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, How You Can Too, #1 bestseller, and that's the next chapter in your story. Also, a copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give it away to somebody, stir up a ruckus, get them started on this, tell them what you did, and it's not bragging because you did it. And I'm proud of you. Very, very well done. Ramsey's proud of you. Georgia's proud of you. Well done, you guys.
Thank you.
Glenn and Wendy, Birmingham, Alabama, $100,000 paid off in 22 months, making 130 to 138. House and everything. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free.
Man, oh man, oh man. It's just a matter of intentionality. Once you decide, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to make every one of these dollars behave. I'm not going to live like this. I want to be free. Once you decide, then you'll start adjusting things in your life to get there. And, you know, what was their big sacrifice? They only ate out once a week. Ooh.
I thought Dave ruins your life.
I don't know how they're going to make it. I mean, that was incredible. They didn't. I mean, they just walk up. My point is they didn't have to really strain. They had to be intentional.
Yeah.
There wasn't like some kind of hold your breath and be underwater for 2 hours.
Just grinding for
there
years.
wasn't anything like that. This was just, I'm going to do it on purpose. And once you start doing it on purpose, the level of traction is incredible.
Oh, yeah. And looking back, 22 months is like a snap.
Yep. And you're done.
But when you're looking forward, you go, man, 2 years? I don't know if I can do it. But when you look back, you go, man, that was a blip in our life.
Oh.
And now we're free forever. That's a different mindset.
24 months ago, we had this thing called COVID. I mean, it was everywhere. We were all shut down 24 months ago right now. The whole place was shut down, right?
Feels like yesterday and a decade ago at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going with the decade part. It's the one I'm sticking with. Oh, my gosh. But I mean, it's how fast it goes.
Yeah.
That feels like 20 seconds ago in a way, right? And in another way, it feels like a decade ago. So there you go.
If you sacrifice for 22 months, you won't have a mortgage payment for the next 22 years. It's amazing how that works.
Isn't that neat? Yeah.
If you're willing to do what it takes.
If you live like no one else, later you get to live and give like no one else. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Sophia is in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hi, Sophia. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you.
What's up?
My question for you today is my husband and I are just about ready to complete baby step number 2, and we decided to relocate once we complete baby step 3.
Mm-hmm.
My question today is, do we purchase a home where we plan on relocating and keeping the home we are in so we would have 2 mortgages, then try to sell this one? Or do we go and relocate and rent while we sell this home? Or do we just sell this home and then purchase another one? We're wanting to save up 20% before we buy a new home for a down payment.
Okay, good. I like option 3, where you just sell it and relocate. What's holding you back from doing that?
Just that we weren't quite sure. We won't have the 20% right away.
You don't have enough equity in your current home?
We do. We're just kind of, there's not a whole lot of homes on the market where we're relocating. So we figured that if we just rented, that it would help us save the 20% for down, and then we could find the home that we really want.
So sell the house.
Wait a minute. The current home that you own does not have any equity?
Oh, it does. It has about $150,000 equity.
Okay. And how expensive a home would you buy when you relocate?
Right now, the homes are going for about $400,000 over there.
Okay, that would be 25% then, so you'd be just fine, right? So put your home on the market and sell it, and then go over there and buy a house.
Okay.
With that money.
Perfect.
That's option C, right?
And there's nothing wrong with renting at the new spot for a while and figuring out what the lay of the land is and where you want to live and all that stuff.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in touch with go to RamseySolutions.com, get in touch with a Ramsey ELP, get your house on the market, and is there a job change and everything involved?
Yes, so I can actually change my job right now. He would need to stay for 6 to 8 months. But I guess we're just kind of waiting until we have baby step 3. It would make us feel more secure.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem with that.
Before we leave.
So, but I mean, the point is, in terms of the real estate transaction, once you have the jobs lined up and the other logistics, other than the real estate, and you're ready to go, okay, ready, set, go, whatever that means to you, okay, put that house on the market. It will sell very quickly in this current environment. Agreed?
Agree.
Then you just take that contract in your hand. You're just going to close in 30 days probably. And you go to the other place and you start looking for houses and you buy one to close around the same time that yours is going to close. If you can't find one in the new place because there's nothing available or you can't find a decent deal or anything like that, well, then just rent. But renting is your worst case scenario. But selling the current property and within the period of time that it's set up to close, buy another one and close on it simultaneously or within days. You'd have to close on your first one, the one you're selling first, because you got the money to buy the second one, right?
Correct.
I mean, if you close on if you close on yours on a Tuesday and the one you're buying on a Wednesday, and they, and you load up the truck and you head to Beverly.
Okay. Would you ever suggest that we move before baby step 3 is completed?
That'd be okay. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Because you're going to have $100,000 in your pocket.
Correct.
When you move. So you're not going to be broke.
Okay.
So it's okay if you don't have it completed or if you only had 3 months or something, if it makes you feel better to have that. But my point is, if you cannot then set up a simultaneous transaction like I'm discussing, meaning you can't find something that you can close on or move into, or you move into a rental for 2 months while you get this all figured out. But you don't necessarily have to rent for 2 years in the new location. If you the trick is just to get the logistics lined up of the two deals. And so, that's what we're looking at. So I did a similar thing last year myself, Sophia. We had this big old huge house up on a hill that we loved and we lived in for almost 15 years. And while the market was hot, we decided we're getting out of that. And so we bought a lot to build on that we'll build on someday. And we sold that big house. And so we were homeless and ran out and bought a house in the same neighborhood as the lot to camp in for a while, using the money from the sale of the first house.
That's called glamping, Dave.
Yeah,
I've seen
it's not camping. It's glamping. You're right. It's
there we go.
Pretty luxurious.
Accuracy.
Pretty luxurious camping site. But yeah, but the point being that we just had to work out the logistics, right? We had to figure out, okay, and I didn't need to close on the new house that we're glamping in until the first one closed. And so we had to set up the closing to be after that. I had the money to buy both, but I didn't want the other one unless the big one closed, not just sold. I want the money in my hand.
That's right.
And then we're going to go make the other deal. And we closed them the same week.
Wow.
And then had the moves arranged, the possession arranged around where we had a little bit of time to make the move without falling in on ourselves. So it's just a matter of negotiating and finding something where the logistics line up and work, and then you're going to be just fine. So, good question. Ross is with us in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Hey, Ross, what's up?
How's it going, Dave? I am trying to decide if I want to pick up an extra job to help pay for college over the summer.
Why not?
Well, I'm already working one job, and plus I'll be doing a EMT course so I can get my basic EMT so I can try and do firefighting, which I'm still trying to get my probationary book signed off on that. So I don't
going
know
to college and EMT?
Yes.
Why? Which one are you going to do?
I was going to college first, and I was originally just going to get my bachelor's because I was going to go into law enforcement. But my stepdad, who's a state trooper, talked me out of that. So I looked into firefighting.
So why are you still going to college?
Because at this point, it's like I feel like I'm halfway through, and I feel like it'd be a waste of money if I wouldn't finish it out and get something from it.
Okay.
So you can't cash flow college if you don't pick up this additional job? You're going to have to go into debt?
I don't know, because tuition's about $12,000, and I'm not going to be living on campus anymore. I've got past the 2 years that I had to live on campus. And I feel like I could get enough money, but it's just now I'll have an apartment, and I guess I'm a little worried because I know I'm not going to be able to work as much during when I have classes.
Well, the focus right now is getting through your courses, getting through your EMT program, and doing it all debt-free. So whatever that takes, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Priority number 1, EMT school. Priority number 2, finish college. Priority number 3, way the flip down the list, is an apartment. Are you in town with your parents?
No.
Okay. Then get the cheapest freaking possible thing you can. Don't be working for an apartment. Be working to do the other 2 goals.
You got roommates, Ross?
Yeah, I'll have a roommate.
How much more expensive is the apartment than on campus?
The apartment's less money than on campus living.
Okay. So you should be able to, with your current expenses, cover that, right?
I should be able to, yeah.
Okay. Well, when in doubt, I'm working. You're what, 22, 23 years old?
20.
20 years old. Yeah. You're not going to die from working. So when in doubt, I'm going to work more, make some money, because a big old pile of money solves a whole lot of God's problems right here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, getting up to the edge and then going, oh, man, I'm $500 off. $500 off in your world's a lot of off.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be $500 off. So I'm going to have the extra money, extra pile of money. That big old pile of money gives you peace that you get to hit all your goals, which is finish school and EMT school.
Go
all
download
at the same
Every
time.
Dollar. Get your Every Dollar budget going. Start doing some math and look at reality.
Yeah, you need to map out what your expenses are going to be on the EMT school, on your tuition, and on the apartment, and go, this is how much money I need plus some. And if that means you're working extra, have at it, brother. Most of us worked when we were in school. None of us died from it. This is the Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from the Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to the Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. This is The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create amazing relationships. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Gene starts off this hour in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi, Gene. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So, and you should also say you help people clean up messes because I have one. My ex-husband and I, 16 years ago, bought a house in our name for my son and his wife and their 3 children. He's our only child. And we did that because their credit was not good at the time, and they were busting at seams in one bedroom, I should say. And so the agreement was they were to clean up their credit and get the house out of our name in 5 years. And,
that was 16 years ago.
That was 16 years ago. And my husband and I were married at the time. He's now my ex-husband. So that's problem one. Problem two is that, skip forward, they now have 4 kids. I'm remarried. He's remarried. And he is 70, and I'm mid-60s. He is not in the best of health, and I have my health issues. And so my son and daughter-in-law mentioned the other day that they were concerned. I didn't know that my ex-husband had health issues, but they mentioned the other day that he does, and they're concerned. This was their concern, that if something happened, the ex-wife has several children, what would happen if the house was still in his name?
Yeah, so maybe they ought to do something about it after 16 years.
Right, but they still can't. Their credit is still really bad. And then of course the market is as good as it has ever been. And so the house on paper has gone up dramatically in value. This question couldn't happen at a worse time, but so the problem now is getting it out of our names, and they don't have the credit where they could go get a loan. And
I assume that you still owe on the house.
Right, and the other part of that agreement was that they would make all the house payments, and we never whatever the house payment was, they made it, and we rolled everything in together. My husband and I ex-husband, had really good credit. I still do. I don't know what my ex's circumstances are.
So what are y'all going to do?
Well, that's what I'm calling for. So here's what my husband and I, my current husband and I, were talking about. So I could take it out of my retirement savings and we owe less than $30,000 on it. The house probably is valued over 100 plus. I really don't know what it would be valued at with this market, but I could pay it off. The question is, how do we transfer it to them without any gift tax? I don't know how to do that.
What is your net worth?
My husband and I, probably a few million.
Okay. All right. So you want to give them another $30,000 and just deed it to them? And do you think your ex will deed it to him?
Well, that was the agreement to begin with.
I know, but will he if you do this?
Well,
the agreement to begin with was they pay it off in 5 years. It's been 16. So nobody's done what they were supposed to do yet in this whole deal.
Absolutely true. But my ex-husband and I, we've tried to do the right thing by them, whether they did the right thing or not.
Yeah.
And again, it kind of upset me because their concern wasn't, he's in bad health. My concern, too, is his financial picture isn't good. If he ended up needing nursing
Do you have any contact with him at all?
Limited.
Okay.
But,
all right. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with you paying off $30,000 and signing the deed. And you can get in touch with your estate planner and file a unified estate tax credit filing. Use up some of your estate exemption, your federal estate exemption, to avoid gift tax. So you can do this without any harm to you, and you're giving them $30,000. The whole thing smells really bad because your son is a complete parasite. He's done a horrible job of managing his life and honoring his mother. But you're going to do it anyway. And so this cleans it up, and it's done. I would not do all of that, and then your ex not deed his half.
Well, let me ask you this, because I tried to do research, and then I thought I could just call Dave Ramsey. Would he be able to do a quick claim deed to me?
No, he'll get a gift tax as well. He has to deed it to whoever. You can both quit claim it to your son, your half to your son, but it doesn't avoid gift tax unless you file a form called the Unified Estate Tax Credit. Write that phrase down. Both you and your ex are going to do this because you're giving him a gift that is larger than $15,000, and you're going to get taxed 55% on it if you do, without filing this form. So you need to talk to your CPA, tax attorney, estate tax planner, whoever's doing this stuff for you. And it's not a hard thing to do, but it's very easy. But a one-page quit claim deed and a unified estate tax credit by both you and your ex, and a $30,000 check to the mortgage company, and this deal's over. Your son owns the house.
Quit claim deed. Both of us. Both of us need to file a unified
estate tax credit.
Okay.
And pay off the debt of $30,000. But if you give him your half and your ex doesn't, and his new wife ends up owning this with your son, it would be just desserts, but it'd be another mess.
Okay.
I mean, your son deserves a mess because he is a mess. But there's no sense in creating one on purpose. So I'd be in touch with your ex and try to get this all coordinated like a little concert move here. Dun, 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 dun. For when
The paperwork is the simplest part of this whole thing. It's all the relational and financial implications that worry me. 16 years and the credit's still in the tank tells me he has not been managing money well.
Yeah, and this is not going to be a blessing to him, but it does clean it up. And for $30,000 and you got several million in net worth, it's a clean transaction. But it's kind of one. It's not kind of. It is one you got to hold your nose while you do it. Because it's not really a blessing. Obviously, none of this has been a blessing to him.
Not going to feel
good. The whole freaking thing was a bad idea. 16 years ago, 11 years ago when you didn't call him on it, and now it was a bad idea. The whole thing's a bad idea. There's nothing in this that's good. No pretty girls at this party. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host this hour. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George, the nicest people anywhere are people who psychologists like Dr. John Deloney call enablers. They see someone who says, I need help with this, and they just want to be helpful. Even though when you look at it, the help is actually not help. It's actually harm. And so when you give a drunk a drink, the drunk is very happy with you. But you're not really helping. You're enabling, assisting in their misbehavior that brings harm to them. It doesn't harm you.
Yeah.
So if you participate in someone's crazy and assist them in it, because you're sweet, And almost all enablers are very sweet people. And I'm not being sarcastic. They are very kind. They are so kind that they cannot do the hard work of conflict for someone else's good. See, when you call in here, we love you so much, we're going to bust you for your own good. It doesn't change the cost of the call. It's free. Either way. It doesn't change that we love you. It doesn't change that we don't love you. It doesn't, and Dave Ramsey's tough. No, Dave Ramsey loves you. I want you to win. So I'm going to tell you the truth. Get out of the street. Don't touch the hot stove. Stay away from these things. They bring you harm. Enablers, on the other hand, participate. Our last caller was an enabler.
What I'm seeing here is short-term help can lead to long-term harm. That's what seems to be the pattern, the theme of all of these. They're trying to help in the short term because this person can't do it on their own, and therefore we're going to give them a leg up, which is really going to hurt them financially, usually on this show, in the long term, and usually relationally for all parties involved long term.
So if your kid has bad credit, they can't hold down a job, they're not going to get better by you buying them a house.
That's simple.
Hello. They're not. It's not going to make their life better. Now, if you need to buy groceries for your grandbabies to eat, do it. If you pay the light bill or something occasionally, that's up to you. But to the extent that you participate in the mythology that they're not in control of their life, you are not being a blessing. To that point, her son, for 16 years, has never been able to recoup and put his feet on the ground. After his mom and dad, now divorced and remarried, both of them, bought him a house, left it in both of their names. The house survived a divorce. The home ownership survived a divorce. So they've been partners with their ex for 16 freaking years. How pleasant is this? And Junior pays the bill. He can't get good credit, but he seems to pay this bill.
This is like Parent Plus loan on steroids when you're taking out a mortgage for your kids.
So what would you do in the alternative, Dave? Well, in the alternative, I would suggest that the young man rent until he can get his crap together. And I'll be happy to pay for him to go to Financial Peace University. I'll pay for him to read a book on money from one of the many Ramsey personalities, including me. I would even participate if he wanted to get out of debt and was on a budget and was being real gung-ho. I might even match him and say, for every $1,000 you pay off, I'll pay $1,000 for you. If you've got the money and you want to help them get up and get moving, you're participating in positive behaviors then that are going to lead him to sustainability, not negative behaviors that allow him to mask over and pretend like he doesn't have a problem. And buying your kid a house and putting it on a mortgage in your name is just straight up stupid. Never do that under any circumstances. Let them go rent something, and if you want to write some checks, write some checks and help them that way. But you don't need to get in the home ownership business with an irresponsible kiddo. It's a bad plan. It doesn't work out well for them or for you. It ends up the way her situation ends up. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And we're all for generosity.
They really wanted to help.
Yeah.
And the problem is they defined the word help wrong. And it wasn't real help. Instead of look at them and going, no, 10 years from now, you're still going to be in a mess because you ain't going to change. Until you change, you hadn't changed. It's just that it's a mess.
Yeah. Well, it seems like generosity, we're big fans of that around here.
Absolutely.
But if you're generous in a way that doesn't help someone get control of their life and it's not a blessing to them, then it really wasn't generosity.
Even when you're being generous to a charity, when you're giving to a charity that mishandles money, all you're doing is participating in their mishandling of the money. You just helped them do it. And so, we do due diligence, Ramsey Family Foundation, before we give to charities. We want to make sure they're handling money well, that the money's actually going to help the people. It's not going to, we don't know how to run the office properly. And that some charities don't know how to run the office properly, and they end up spending 90% of the money on overhead and 10% to help the starving child or whatever it is they're supposed to be doing. And so it'd been easier just to go feed some kids. You'd have been better off. And so you've got to use some good common sense with this. Otherwise, you're participating. And that is not being mean, and that's not being angry.
You're heartless, Dave.
And it's not being heartless. It's not being tough. It's none of those things. It's actual love. I love you so much, I'm not going to participate in your misbehavior. I can't be a party to your misbehavior because I love you too much. I will help you do positive things. If you want to do wonderful things, I'm going to walk with you. I'll be your biggest cheerleader. I might even write some checks in the positive direction. But I'm not going to mask over your misbehavior and start paying for your stuff.
Well, as the saying goes, you entertain a clown, you join the circus.
Exactly.
And so that's what people find themselves in is now I'm all looped into this crazy, and now I have resentment because it didn't work out how I thought it was going to work out, and now I'm calling this show.
And we have, this current generation coming up in their early 20s, mid-20s, has got two types of people in it. Unbelievably responsible and mature beyond their years, and ones that are still living in their mother's basement at 27 years old. And moms, dads, kick them out. Lovingly, give them a 90-day plan. I'll walk with you. I'll coach you. We're going to assist you, but playing Nintendo is not a job. Playing Call of Duty is not a job. You need to go get a life. You're stunting your kids' growth emotionally by allowing them to exist in your basement at 26 or 36 years old. Now, short term, that's fine. A safety net is fine, but a safety hammock is not a plan.
We don't want a crutch.
Yeah. I mean, listen, an eagle that doesn't leave the nest is eventually known as a turkey. Okay, this is how this works. So these are enabling situations. You're not being helpful. Now, some people got kicked out of the house in angry, rage-filled ways or toxic family situations, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to love you so much, I'll help you move the couch. I'm going to love you so much, I'm going to have taught you to work from the time you were 5 years old until the time you were 20. And then you actually know what work looks like. You know what a callus is, other than on your thumbs, you know? And so, it's just, I'm going to love you so well that you are sustainable as an adult and you will have dignity long after I'm gone. And there's no dignity in being a parasite.
No.
There's just none. It's not helpful to the parasite even.
We got to stop raising kids and start raising adults. That's what I'm seeing out there.
You're right.
And there's a lot of great adults out there, but there's a lot of kids.
Yeah. And it's not this generation. Every generation's done it. My generation had what they call them, the boomerangs. You throw them out and they come back. Yeah. Remember that one?
That's clever.
That was good, yeah. Oh, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, we love you so much, people. We're on your team. We want you to win. And consequently, we're going to tell you the truth.
Might hurt your feelings, but it'll help.
It's entertaining radio, too. This is The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Chris and Donya are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, good, thank you.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Austin, Texas.
All right, welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream, how much have you paid off?
We paid off $50,000.
Good for you. How long did that take?
About 18 months.
Good. And your range of income during that time?
Well, when we got started, we were about $50,000, and not too long after we got started, we were up to $100,000.
Good. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a UPS driver.
Mm-hmm.
I own my own cleaning business.
Okay. So how'd you double your income?
It was a natural progression. You start as a loader in the warehouse.
Oh, okay. So you got, and I'm guessing you got more work to do.
Yeah.
More cleaning work to
yes,
do.
I got.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. So, yeah, drivers make more than loaders, for sure. Yeah.
About 2 to 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, considerable more. Yeah, good. Way to go, guys. What kind of debt was the $50K?
We had credit card debt. We had 2 cars. We had furniture. I had a business that had gone under several years past, so I owed a bunch of people that personally loaned me money, friends and family.
Uh-huh. So you guys were like normal.
Pretty normal.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. It was a mess. So you look up, you got $50,000 worth of mess. How long y'all been married?
10 years.
10 years. But 18 months ago, what happened? How'd the switch flip? Tell us your story.
Well, our journey started a little bit before 18 months ago as far as getting our lives together. So we've been married for 10 years. I found myself down a pretty dark hole about 5 years ago. I was at a rock bottom to the disease of addiction. So I got myself into 12-step recovery and started putting my life together, taking responsibility for my future, our future. And
good for you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So you've been sober for how long?
Coming up on 5 years.
Way to go, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well done. What did you kick? What kind of substance?
Well, I pretty much used anything I could get my hands on, but it was methamphetamine that took me all the way down to the bottom.
Ooh, that's a tough one to bust.
Yes, sir.
Way to go, man. Super proud of you.
So that was about a little less than 5 years ago. I started that journey, and about a year ago, I heard you on, maybe a little more than a year ago, I heard you on the Megyn Kelly Show.
Oh, yeah.
And at this point, my mind was clear enough where I could actually say, oh, my gosh, this is the next thing I need to do. I told her, I said, hey, we need to get on this Dave Ramsey thing. And she's like, oh, my gosh, beans and rice?
Yeah, it didn't sound very fun.
But I had her listen to the episode, and then we got your book from the library, the audio book. I listened to it in one listen, basically, and it was off from there. So I sold all the single stocks we had, everything we had in savings, and put it all toward debt. And then I didn't know what to do from there. I didn't know how to budget. I didn't know anything. It was like, I have no idea what to do. So I got up the courage to call you. I called you, and John Deloney was on the show, and I told you a little bit of my story then, and you gave me a year of your Ramsey Plus.
All right.
Yeah, and you told me to call back when we got debt free, and so we decided we'd come out.
And here you are.
All right.
Full circle.
So we appreciate you being
I'll tell
part
you
of
what.
the story.
We love working with everybody out there, but I particularly love to get to be the financial part, our Ramsey and the team, to get to be the financial part of the healing from a past like yours. When you can kick that and then you can step over and clean up and go on, really clean life going forward. That's awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
We're so proud of you.
Thank
We're
you,
so
sir.
honored to be part of your story.
I'm honored myself.
Very cool. Well done. Well
Yeah,
done.
on the eve of John Deloney's book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, you're living proof of that and what that looks like. I mean, you changed so many parts of your life. You've got a beautiful family. Was that your why? What was the driving force 18 months ago where you went, no more, we can't live like this?
Yeah, it was just all kind of natural progression of cleaning up my past, cleaning up, and taking responsibility for life. I think I heard Dave say one time you could either be a victim or a victor, and I was done being a victim.
Amen.
Yeah. Cool.
That'll preach.
Donya, you got a whole new man than you did 6 years ago.
Yeah, I do.
It's a completely different guy.
I'm so grateful.
Amen. Amen. God's been good to y'all. Well done. So proud of you. Wow. Absolutely amazing. All right. So actually, the getting out of debt thing is no big deal compared to the other stuff.
Exactly.
But it is a big deal because it's one of the details, the nuanced details, I guess, of the whole story. So what do you all tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I don't think we could have done it without the budget app, and that was the part that I was most stuck on. And once we got that, we talked to 2 coaches through the Ramsey Plus, and we took the courses, and we just started doing it. And once we started doing it, it was like, oh, there's too much money going there. There's not enough money going here. Let's start telling our money what to do. And we found about $2,000 a month that we could start throwing at the debt. And it was from there, it was just doing it, and that's what we did.
Well done, y'all. Very well done. You're heroes. So proud of both of you.
Thank you.
Proud of you for sticking with him. And I'm proud of him for doing the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very well done. Good.
And to the question of the why, it was keeping the family,
Yeah.
Like it was, I came to a point where I wasn't allowed to come home. I was staying in my truck, and it was like, this is worth it. Like whatever I thought I had going for me, it wasn't. Like I needed my family, I needed her, I needed the kids to know how to be a man.
Yeah. So she told you, don't go home till you clean up then, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you. That was a hard call.
Yes.
Hard call, but it worked out.
It did.
Worked out good. Good for you. You guys are tough. You're tough as nails, man. You've worked through some real stuff, both of you, man. Very, very powerful. Wow! You guys are my hero of the day, man. Excellent. Just so cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, so let's bring the kiddos up. What are their names and ages?
We've got Isaiah and Eva.
Isaiah's 7 and Eva's 5.
Oh, man. Perfect ages. Very well done. Good-looking kiddos, too. Well done, you guys. Well, we have a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. No stopping you guys. You're warriors, man. How ordinary people built extraordinary wealth, how you can, too. And also a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and stir somebody up out there. Stir up a holy ruckus. Just keep this moving, man. Keep paying it forward. Well done, you guys. So proud of you. Man, they're cool.
I know. It reminds me of the quote, having a testimony is great. Getting one sucks.
Yeah. Getting one's a pain in the
You have
butt.
such an inspiring story to share with other people now. As you hand that book over, you say, man, this thing was a part of life change for me, and I hope it does the same for you.
Yeah, that's powerful. Good for you guys. All right, Chris and Donya, Isaiah and Eva, $50,000 paid off in 18 months, making 50 to 100. The Every Dollar app stepped in. Gotta love it. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Oh, man.
Don't tell me you can't change your life. I mean, he's living proof, man.
You know, we just did that whole segment on enabling, and this is the exact opposite. She says, don't come home.
Yeah.
And he's in the truck, and he wakes up and goes, those babies and that girl are worth it. I got to straighten up. And then he starts the process of coming clean. That's powerful,
That's
man.
the truest form of love
That's
there
powerful.
is.
That's hard stuff. It's a very hard situation to find yourself in, to be in on both sides of that coin. But the net result is a beautiful family right here, a beautiful future. He's got a great job now. Man, life is good. She's kicking it with her business. It's just incredible. Very, very well done.
Awesome family.
And we get to be a little tiny part of the story with Ramsey Plus, and then with Financial Peace University, and with the Every Dollar app and all, to help them with this last part of some of the cleanup. So very well done, man. That's about as good as it gets. Why come down here every day, George?
That's why we do it.
Life is good. Never gets old. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Genesis 28:15. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I've done what I promised you. Our greatest weakness, Thomas Edison said, lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time, George.
I like that. It reminds me of your quote, success is a pile of failures that you're just standing on. It reminds me of that. That's what success is. That's good.
Well, it's a matter of course corrections or mistakes or whatever, but learning from them, standing on them rather than laying under them is the process for sure. Well, tax season ends today, April the 18th, if you're filing online, which is 95% of you. If you need affordable tax software that you can trust, that isn't trying to sell you a bunch of debt or isn't trying to upcharge you with a bunch of hidden fees, you can use Ramsey Smart Tax instead of those other guys. Super easy to use. You'll get every federal form that you need, no hidden fees. Use the promo code TAX22, and you get $25 off filing your federal return. That means you get our Federal Classic software for free, or you can get the Federal Premium software with priority support and a financial coaching session, all for just $20 if you use the promo code TAX22. It's a bargain. It's a deal. It's an easy way to file your taxes. Ramsey Smart Tax. Go to RamseySolutions.com/smart tax. Chris is in Fort Worth. Hey, Chris, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, George. Hey, Dave. How y'all doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Love that. I want to set up my 2-year-old for success. She might be a doctor one day, or she might start a llama farm, but I want her to be able to do both of those debt-free. So 16 years from now, she'll probably be ready for college or not. And based on what George has said in the past, if we kind of reverse engineer it, I think I might need $400,000. It's just a number I came up with. And I know that the S&P 500 does 12% a year on average. And so if I put 60 in today and nothing else, at 12%, it comes up to 400. Or I can throw that down to my mortgage. And I just kind of want to know what you guys think I should do in my situation.
Well, I think you can do both. You can pay off the house early, and we can fully fund her college. I feel like there's a lot of ifs, and if this happens in 16 years from now versus just consistently investing a little bit into the college fund, paying some on the house, you don't need to do this all in one lump sum.
I'm fine with you checking the box and being done with it, if you want to call that done. Here's what will happen in reality. Nothing works out exactly like you're planning in 20 years from now. As a matter of fact, nothing works out exactly like you're planning it 20 years from now. And so, I don't know exactly what's going to go down here, but if you want to drop a chunk of some kind, maybe you're only put in 40 and you're going to end up with 300. I don't know, whatever it is. Or you end up with less or you end up with more, depending on the performance of the market. We don't know exactly what it's going to do, but it's a reasonable projection. The point is you're going to be building wealth. By the time she gets to school, you're going to have wealth in addition to this and a paid-for house. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be fine. I mean, but the good news is if you want to check that box at baby step 5 and say, I'm going to put X number of dollars in lump sum and be done with college funding, check, box checked. Let's go. Get you a good 529 plan where you're choosing the options, pick good mutual fund options in there and head at it. Nothing wrong with that at all. And then just tear at the house next, or throw it down on the house. And like George said, just go steady into the baby step 5. Either one is fine. Either one's fine. I did never have a llama farm on the list of things to do, though. Nothing wrong with that.
Is that a career choice?
Nothing wrong with that.
Wrong.
Llama farm wasn't on my list. I'm
a camel man myself. As you could have guessed.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just not there
there's
for
so much wrong with that. I can't go there because I'll get arrested. Adam is in San Antonio. Hey, Adam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey there, Mr. Ramsey. How are you doing today?
Great, man. What's up?
Hey, I had a question for you, sir. And first, I wanted to say thank you so much for your time. I used to be myself $114,000 in debt in 2017. 3 years and 2 months later, it's paid off.
Way to go, man.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks to you and a cousin I have named Kevin who always kept talking about you. I stopped being stubborn one day and gave in.
Way to go, Kevin.
I appreciate it, sir. Yes, sir. And I wanted to ask you a question. I've listened to your show quite a few times, and I'm sure there's an instance, and I probably missed it. But my mom is 68, And I just wanted to ask on her behalf your advice. So she hasn't saved for retirement. She has $18,000 in her 401k, $60K in cash. Her home is valued, I think, approximately in the low 500s right now, and she owes about $205 on it. And she's at that point right now. I've been watching it happen for a while, where eventually it was going to get to this point of, what do I do next? And so, tried to talk to my mom about it, but she didn't want to talk about it. So you can only talk to someone if they want to talk about it.
Right.
So I just wanted to ask your advice, sir. She asked me for some advice this morning, and I think probably the Lord put you on my mind. So I just thought I would call in and just get your advice and see what you do if you were in this situation.
Wow, that's a tough one, man. How much does she make?
She's making about $70,000 right now. She hit past normal retirement age for Social Security, so she's able to take the Social Security benefit while still being able to work full time. So she's been bringing in from that. That's an additional $2,000 or $2,200 a month on top of the base $70K.
What does she do
right now? She is a nurse, a registered nurse. Used to work in the hospital running the OR, but now that's too physically intensive on her. So right now she's doing some medical claims billing work while working from home that require that she can still do, allows her to sit and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, the same principles apply. We've got to get her out of debt and build an emergency fund and build a nest egg. And I don't know how we're going to do that on this income at this age.
Yes, sir.
It's not impossible, but my guess is she's probably going to downsize in house. And where does she live?
She lives in Weatherford, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay. If I could find a $300,000 condo that I could pay cash for and move her out of that house, that'd be, if I were her, I'd look at doing that, and let's get the housing paid for. Then all we've got to do is just pile up cash with the remaining work years for nest egg.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know how you're going to support a $205,000 mortgage on Social Security.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind me asking one brief question on top of that, it's still tied to the exact same issue. My brother-in-law has quite a bit of land and did offer her to possibly build a tiny home on that land. Now,
well, you don't have to build a tiny home. You don't have to build a tiny home. You got $300,000.
Right.
I wouldn't build a tiny home. No, I wouldn't build a tiny home because there's no resale for them. There's no market proven. It's a fad. It may prove out later to not be a fad, but for right now, it's a fad because there's no resale on them.
Yes, sir.
So I want to do real estate deals that go up in value and that I can live in long term. But for a couple of $100,000, she could put a really nice property if he'll donate the land to her.
Mm-hmm.
Sell the house, take some of the equity, and build a nice house, a good house. Doesn't have to be a tiny house, and it's paid for then. It needs to be deeded to her. The property needs to be deeded to her. So he needs to cut out a parcel, an acre or something, and give mom an acre, and then she builds a house on it and uses the proceeds to sell from hers. That'll help a lot. And if she built that for $200, then she's got an extra $100 because she's got $300 in equity. Throw that in there to start her nest egg and then pile onto that nest egg, George. That'll work.
Yeah. I'm not relying on Social Security, though, to fund my retirement.
And not with a $200,000 mortgage. That house is gone. It's not going to make this cut. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.